your actions have to have results. You have to have results. People do not judge you based on what your potential is. It's what you already have done. Welcome back, everybody, to Just Know podcast, where we make knowledge your strongest weapon.
As always, it's a pleasure to have you guys back. Your boy Just over there, your boy Nas over here, and let's get this show on the road, baby.
Yeah, so in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about what measures your value in this world. So we're going to be talking a little bit about character and what really determines you being valuable in this world, depending on what you do and the way how you present yourself too. You want to start?
Yeah, I want to start off by saying, of course, there's no one-size-fits-all formula for anything in this world. Whatever the subject matter is, there's no one-size-fits-all formula. But I do want to throw some. I want to direct some aim at this notion that somebody can just wake up and claim to be a good person and like convince themselves to whether be a person of value, a person of worth, a person who deserves A, B, and C, without actually doing anything, without bringing any value, without producing any results, anything of significance, and to be a little bit more specific, I like to use the example of somebody just waking up and like, I'm a good person, but maybe in a whole month can go by and they've never done anything that shows that they care about anybody other than themselves. They've never displayed the behavior of what a good person actually is. A good person, somebody who cares about others, who's considerate about others' feelings, other situations, who helps when they can help, as long as it's within reach, within their means, somebody who doesn't wake up every single day just trying to feed themselves with, their desires, their whatever they're chasing, and absolutely goes 24 hours a day without ever considering the next human being. Even sometimes you could go as far as even their own close family, their immediate family.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people want to say that, they're this person, they want to portray themselves as this person, but your value and your character is actually determined by the people around you and how they portray you as a person. Because you can't say that you want to be a decent person, but the people around you think that you're conniving and that you're deceptive. There's no way in hell. That's you have a facade at the end of the day in your own mind. But you have to understand that what you do in life is always judged and is always measured in a scale in certain senses. And the people around you are the ones that's going to, solidify what you are trying to portray, in a sense.
Yeah, I want to use this example of, in the business world, let's say you come across a certain person and their rep is a reputation of, thieving, deception, scamming, playing around, not being honest, not being completely transparent, having a hidden agenda. It doesn't matter how much success they've actually achieved. You're just not going to really even entertain the idea, the possibility of working with them. Even if they've got more motion going on than you, and you might actually feel like you could gain something maybe in your business life just from that aspect, aside from personal reasons, but just that business reason, you might be able to gain from them some little bit, something of value, maybe. But when you see when you realize their reputation, you take that into account. You're not willing to deal with a person like that. You're not willing to interact and have ties to a person like that, and I just think it all comes down to that. Like, I want to ask you a question, for example, right? Now, let's say you're scoping out a lady, which hopefully, that's not something that you're actively doing. But anyway, let's say you're trying, you have good intentions. You're trying to build some type of strong foundation, some type of long lasting, hopefully for marriage reasons, you're scoping out a lady, right? And you have a bunch of mutual friends, right? You met her through mutual friends, whatever. And you asked them about her and they told you she was, deceitful. She was conniving. She's promiscuous. She has the tendency to, she is known to, maybe be a little bit of a liar, even a little bit of a leech. We could go as far as saying even gold digger tendencies. All these things. And even though you might have met her and in that moment, or that first 2, 3 interactions, or even that very first impression, like, she didn't come off as any of that, but you don't know her too well, right? Those people that know her better than you do, 3, 4, 5 people that are actually involved with her on a regular basis, give you that type of feedback on this person. Chances are, one, they're not probably just making up things about her. They have no reason for that. People don't just do that. It's not like she's a fucking a big public figure where people are trying to tear her down. She's a regular, everyday, plain Jane, everyday girl. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're saying that about people probably are giving you accurate information. They're giving you accurate feedback. So my question is to you, would you even consider, and I feel like I can answer for you, but I just want to hear also your thoughts on this, but would you even consider exploring how far or where it can lead to?
Honestly, no, because put like this, right? Just like in business terms, you know people that went to the restaurant, right? They say that the food's bad, and it's not just one person, because stuff can always be biased. It's just a multitude of people. If they say one thing about this business that they don't have good food, why would I even be inclined to try it? You know what I'm saying? Just to be against the grain? No, I'm gonna take it as such because that's background context, right? If I find another person is like this through other people, through multiple people, because you always got to check your references to see if they're okay, whatever
Absolutely.
have you, because people do lie. But in a bigger aspect, most people do not lie about somebody. It has to be some type of truth about it. So if they tell me that this lady is this type of person, I would never even step foot near this woman at all. Because then in that sense, I'll be wasting my time. Because if they say something, right, I go try to find out, and they prove me right, then what was the point of even interacting with her? Because that was something that I specifically was not looking for. I'll be a fool to just go in there and think like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go here and she looks nice. She's portraying a facade, because if her friends, her close friends, are saying that she's this person, and these are her close friends, imagine what type of person she is. In my head, from being a logical person, if your close friends are saying that about you, then you're actually worse than what they're saying about you. Because me asking that about one person, they're not telling the whole truth. They're telling vaguely about the truth, right? And not even the whole aspect of everything. But it could be way worse than that.
Exactly.
I'm just going to stay far away from it.
Exactly. They're not even giving you full details. And one thing I do want to point out is this idea about taking others people's opinion about somebody's character. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You got to give everybody their fair chance. Honestly, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now, let's say I referred to you somebody, or you came across somebody, and I happen to know them. You knew that I knew about them, or I don't know. We've had interactions before, and you asked me my opinion on them. I go one of two routes. I either choose to plead the fifth. I don't want to say it's none of my business, whatever, figure out for yourself, right? And then you go and deal with them, right? And then something bad happens down the line. And you're like, bro, why couldn't you warn me of this person? And then let's try the other way. You ask me about that same person, right? And instead of deciding to plead the fifth, I tell you like, hey, bro, be careful because this person tends to do such and such, or tends to display such and such behavior or dishonest, behavior. It's like, okay, so am I not supposed to warn you, or am I supposed to warn you and then have to deal with that feedback of, oh, don't be that person who talks down on other people. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. So for the naysayers who are like, oh, that's not your role, that's not your position to play to speak on somebody else. Like, yeah, actually it is. Absolutely. If you're my boy or somebody that I, respect and are close to me, and you ask me my opinion on somebody, and I give you my honest feedback, not that I have a hidden agenda against them or personal beef with them. This is just this is my experience with them. A, B, and C. And they might have not, caused massive trauma in my life, but they were not pleasant to deal with. It's up to me to tell you that when you ask me. I'm not going to go out of my way and gossip to you for no reason. If you have no business with this person, I'm not going to just come and share this information with you for no reason. But if you come to me like, hey, bro, I'm about to enter a deal, or I'm about to make a move with this person, or I'm about to invite them along to do this with me, or, and you bring that to my attention, you're the one who initiated and brought this person's name up and asked me my feedback. I'm the type of person, I'm gonna give you honest feedback. And then you get to choose what you do with that information. Yes, you should give everybody your fair chance, but that's when you have no references to go to. When you don't have anybody to give you that information.
Of course.
If somebody tells you like, yo, this lady is 24 years old, or this person, this male, this dude is 24 years old and he's been locked up for theft 3 times, and then you let him in your house around your valuable possessions and he rob you after you've retrieved this information, I hope they rob you. You're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you apply that to other things in life, not just robbing. Just if they rob you of your time when you've been warned of them, if they rob you of, your effort, your energy, all of that thing, they do that thing to you, then you just deserve it. So, your character is it's just the way it is. You don't get to wake up and say, I'm an honest person, I'm a pleasant person, I'm a genuine person, I'm generous, and then do none of that. It's not dictated by that. Really, the importance, the measuring stick of your character is really decided. Because if you're doing good in front of other people, if you're behaving properly in a very pleasant manner, people will gladly say those good things about you. So if they're not, and you're not some type of public figure and famous and well-known, then people are probably going to be telling the honest truth about you. Like, there's no need to tear you down. You're not a person of some type of status that, you're just going to naturally attract haters. Like, nah, you're probably gonna, get honest feedback about this person. If I tell myself I'm a good person, and then the 10 people closest to me say that I'm A, B, and C, and all of these are A, B, and C were all bad qualities, you shouldn't go based off me I shouldn't be able to call myself a good person and expect other people to, treat me as such. Like,
of course.
No, that's not how it works. That's a world of delusion.
Yeah, no, it's true. And honestly, we're in a world of very great delusion. I hope that everybody watching this is not in a state of delusion, but let's get into something else. Your value to this world, right? Characteristics aside, and characteristics, your value, what you bring to the world is not determined on what you say. It's not determined by words. It is determined by actions, right? What you do is what's going to be measured. So if you're a good person, your actions will also follow suit. So good people would be caring, would be generous, would try to help others, out of any which way, whether there be family or that be somebody being a stranger. Those actions, and then people that see those actions are going to, judge you based on that, right? You can say that, yeah, I'm a good person, I'm generous, I do all these things, as in your head, this is what you say. But if your actions don't match, you're going to be claimed as the opposite, just like in the value of the world, right? You can say that, I'm mentally a successful person, or I'm very valuable, I'm a high value man, because that's the thing now that a lot of people are saying. High value man and high value women, and mostly high value men, whatever have you. Everybody thinks that they're high value men. I'm sorry to say this. You can be the best man that you can be, as in, you're determined, you are going out, you're hardworking, whatever have you. But your value to this world is through your actions. So if you don't, you don't put value to the forefront, or you don't have those actions that are valuable by other people, you're not going to be valued to this world. So put like this, right? Let's say Amazon, right? Amazon's very successful, not because of what they do, right? As in what they say that they do. It's what they provide. It's the actions that they have. It's what products they provide for the people, and it's valuable to other people. And that's the reason why it's such a successful business. Why is Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest people in this world? Because he provided through actions companies that provide value to other people in this world. That's why he's valued, actually, how he's measured as a successful person through the actions that he has. So, in end of the day, honestly, your actions have to have results, right? You have to have results. People do not judge you based on what your potential is what you already have done. So you can't sit here and say, like, I'm a high valued man. But bro, outside of your city, probably outside of the street that you live on, nobody knows you. So how could you be a high valued man if your value is not shown to the world? People can't say, like, somebody say, if I live in Jersey, somebody in Atlanta or somebody in Georgia don't know of me. I can't be a high value man at that point, you know?
Yeah, I like to use the comparison of, people in different career paths, people, that chose to take on different loads of responsibility. Like, okay, yeah, teachers might be important, or let's not use teachers because honestly, I kind of appreciate teachers more than the average person. But anyway, let's use just like, I don't know, just a regular, okay, somebody owns a liquor store and they're doing well financially, right? But they don't actually provide no value to society, to their community, versus a person who, chose to become a doctor. They provide way more value within a community than that liquor store owner, even though that liquor store owner could possibly actually
Make more.
more or the same or more
Yeah.
than this doctor. And actually, I think it's better to compare like this because this one will hit a little bit home. A philanthropist, for example, somebody who does like social work, who's always an advocate for human rights, human well-being, mental well-being, equality, good treatment of your fellow human beings, the people who live around you, the people who share this world with you. I always love their work. But that person, that philanthropist, more often than not, focuses their efforts so much on that philanthropy work that they probably can't provide you any value in terms of business, in terms of financial, advice. And on the flip side, somebody who's so focused on, getting money and running and opening businesses and doing entrepreneur work their value isn't really determined on their good character or their ability to be a good community member or a pleasant person to deal with. I mean, it's pretty obvious a lot of people who are doing well in their life in the business aspect are like, they have strong characters where they could be a little bit, you could be a little bit put off. It's very common to, think or to reasonably say about somebody who's doing well in their financial, their financial part of life, their financial side of life, that maybe they're not the best character. It doesn't necessarily mean they're evil, but maybe they are not the kindest with their words. Maybe they're not the most considerate or the most empathetic of people. They don't provide that value in that sense of being maybe a great person, but they provide value in their own way of, they produce results financially. That's their value. It's measured based off that. So we could all be valued for different things, but you can't be valued for nothing. You can't be that person who claims to be good and high value and worth a lot, and you're literally a nobody. You don't put in no work. You don't have any real significant, friendships or results. Like, so somebody who does charity work but is an everyday average Joe, their value comes in where in their ability and their willingness to care for other people and to feel for other people, sympathize and empathize with other fellow human beings who they share this earth with. They have value in that certain aspect, right? And then on the flip side, somebody who's just, go with business, go with money, and doesn't necessarily do any philanthropy work or isn't really the best person with their peers, their value doesn't come with their ability to connect with other people, with strangers, and to be kind to every person that they cross paths with. Their value comes in their business ability. So that's what it's not dictated. You don't just wake up and determine that I am worth such and such amount. I am worth such and such respect. I am deserving. Like that's not how it works. It's determined by your ability to produce results, to be a productive member of the community. And everybody has their niche. Everybody has something they're good at, their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And that's what your value is determined by. Now, if you don't have a bread and butter, you don't have no value. And you don't get to just wake up and say, I am worth such and such, and I am high value. I'm a high value woman because I'm pretty. I'm a high value man because I'm rich. Maybe to some people you are, and some people you're not. Maybe you could be rich and a completely ugly piece of shit from the inside, and you don't really provide any value to anybody who's looking for, a decent human being. All you have is money and nothing else, no good character. So it's not the turn. You don't just get to dictate that.
Yeah, I would say this though. And I was just thinking about this from what you said. I think that your values determine how easily replaceable you are to the world. I can honestly say that.
Yeah, I like that.
Whether that be, financially, like, because at the end of the day, right, whether you're a piece of shit or not, if you have a business and you're financially successful, you have to provide some type of value to somebody. So the product that you provide is helping somebody in such a way, whether that be leisurely or, practically. You have to provide some value to be financially successful. That means people are buying your product, right? But also on the philanthropy side, right? Or also on the mental health or space or whatever, right? How many lives do you affect people positively is way how you determine your value, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're just, an everyday person that just goes to work, that just provides value for a company, as in, let's say you're a cashier, right? Not to say that cashiers are bad. Like I said, at the end of the day, everybody has their role in this world. You just go do your job, come home. That's it. You repeat the cycle. You're not really valuable to the world. You're just valuable to the company that you work for. But now outside of that, if you're donating to charity, you're helping people out, people are going, what you're remembered for is what you're going to be valued as, right? So at the end of the day, really, you just want to, if you want to be valuable in this world, you have to leave an everlasting mark to the people that surround you. If say, I mean, we all got to do it one day. If you pass away and there's not a lot of people at your funeral, that's how much people you really impact. If people are not sending out money to help, pay for your funeral or whatever have you, you really didn't impact too many people. And to be valuable, first you have to value yourself, man. You can't be valuable to others if you don't value yourself first. That's a very big proponent of, determining and measuring your value. You value yourself as this good person, your actions should match that. And then people should see that and then reciprocate that your value is to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to align with that. Like, yes, you can. But earlier when I said you can't just wake up and say that you're a valuable person, you can, but you can't expect other people to, agree and conform to that perception of you when you're not actually providing value to anybody. Like you have to obviously have that confidence in yourself to be like, I'm able to become valuable. I'm able to be valuable. I'm able to provide some value. I'm able to contribute to society in a manner that will, show people and people will appreciate what I bring to the table. That's kind of like the mentality you have to have, in order to actually execute it. But if you just think that about yourself, like, oh, I do bring a lot to the table, but you don't bring nothing to the table. I am of high value, but you don't do nothing of value. I am very capable, but you've never shown or displayed that you're capable. You can't expect other people to feel that way about you. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's not, if you want to live in your own world of delusion, go ahead. But to expect me to, deem you as, label you as valuable when you've brought no value to nothing, then you just can't. It just doesn't work like that. I can't tell you we're about to get into business together, right? And you ask me what do I bring to the table, I just say, hey, listen, man, I'm just valuable, and I don't show you why. I can't expect you to see me as valuable as I see myself. Like, that don't make sense. It's not on other people. It's not other people's responsibility to buy into your own beliefs about yourself, your own delusion. How do you gain somebody's respect? By showing them that you respect them and that you're a respectable person.
Mhm.
You don't just walk up somewhere and think that somebody be so entitled and so arrogant that everybody around you should respect you. If you're a respectable person and you show that, and it's clear, you will be respected.
Simple as that.
That's what it comes down to. Now, again, for people who want to think of themselves as high character and high value, you're entitled to think that about yourself. What you're not entitled to do is think that you should deserve other people, and and other people should have to conform to that idea about yourself.
Of course.
Like that's just not happening. You come to me and you tell me, like I'm an honest person, and I don't know you from a can of paint. I can't just. I'm not just gonna just reasonably agree. Like, yeah, you're an honest person. Since you think so of yourself, John Doe, you must be an honest person. Like, nah, I have to learn that about you. I have to show that. I have to be shown that about you. You have to show me such, honest behavior and honest personality for me to buy into that.
Of course.
Other than that, it's not up to nobody to just give you credit and give you value and give you that label of good character. That's just sickening, man.
So honestly, when it comes to you being valuable, you have to ask yourself, right? First, ask yourself, how do I provide value to the world? How am I valuable to the people around me, right? Those are things you have to ask yourself, right? And then you ask other people. And then usually when, like say if you say you're a high valued man, right? What you say about you being a high value man has to come after, or has to come before the action that you do. So say if I ask you that you're a high value man, you have to say why you're a high value man. I'm trustworthy. I'm determined. I do this. I do that. I own a business. I provide value to this. It has to be backed up with some type of contents of why you're valuable. You can't just say I'm just valuable because I'm just living. There's a billion people on this world that's living. I don't think all of them are valuable. You know what I'm saying? To the world. You have to provide some type of value in some such way. So honestly, to end this podcast, literally just to say, ask yourself, if you're a valuable person and you feel that you should be valued, ask yourself why. And are you doing the things necessary that you need to do in order to show and provide your value to the world?
I do want to share one thing before we sign off. For those who might mix this up, because of course it's going to happen. It's not even possible. This is guaranteed to mix up. It always happens. But what I'm advocating for, or what I'm trying to get across, the message I'm trying to get across, and I'm pretty sure you're on board with this too, is we're not saying on a base level of human decency and human rights and, like what every human deserves on a basic level is different within basic things in terms of like, like just respect and kindness and whatever from a base level, from like basic, human necessity, we're all equal in that sense. But it's just pretty clear that a surgeon provides more value, is of higher value than, in their own regard than a person who works at a deli. They're a more productive community of society than the person who works. If they weren't, we should all be making the same money. We should all be doing the same schoolwork. There should be no such thing as a 10-year degree, a 10-year career path, a 10-year learning process versus a 2-year learning process. The reason why everything takes different amounts of effort is because they're valued differently. This shoe is not the same price as this shoe. Otherwise, they'd all be the same. It doesn't work like that. It's not just one standard price for everything, one standard value for every single human being. On a base human right, human nature level, then yeah, we're all equal in that matter. But in terms of value, that we all have our own value in our own way, and that's all it comes down to. It's not a negative, portrayal of society that I'm trying to explain here. It's just, just the overall idea of calling yourself value without contributing anything of value to society is crazy.
Yeah. So guys, please do valuable actions. Please provide value to the world. Don't hold your potential and your value back.
Add some value to the show. Comment down below. Tell me why you don't think I'm valuable. And I'll probably agree or disagree with you. Who knows, depending on what you say. Share, like, you feel me? Let your friends know, your family know. Let your
Everyone.
girlfriend know who's of no value. I'm sorry to tell you, buddy. Like, comment, subscribe,
Yes.
share, do the whole bit.
Subscribe to the channel. You feel me? If you're listening to this on any of the podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music, listen, follow us so we can show you some value through what we say. And hopefully you can go provide value to the world from what you hear. This has been the Just and No podcast, where we make knowledge your strongest weapon. Guys, have a great one.
Have a great one. Peace. Bless up, baby.